Good day and welcome to my platform. Today I'm going to be doing a short tutorial on braided turban or turban with matting. When we have some that we use twisting for, but this we are going to be using matting. So we are going to be using matting for this. So for the material that I will mat, I need 44 inches. The 44 inches will be very enough for me to mat, and after matting it will be long enough to go around the edge. So I'll be needing 44. Do not cut 22, which is the normal round edge size. By the time you are done matting, you will not be able to use it. So you need 44, twice the size of the edge. Yes. So after that, I will be needing the body of the turban. And this body of turban can be between 25 to 30 inches. By the time you are done fixing it, you will just simply cut out the excess part from it. So the body of the turban, sorry, my tape has some kind of stain there, so but it is between 25 to 30. It's not really up to 32. And then we need the band, the turban band. My band is about 25 inches. The edge size is 22. I always repeat that in my videos. 22. So when you are working, you must work with something above that, so that you can cut off the excess before you use your interlock machine to do your finishing. So again, I'll be needing the belt for the braided parts, and the belt I'm using is about 7.5 inches. So the next thing I will do is that I'm going to sew it. I'm just going to use my machine and then sew the belt. Then I'll turn it over. So this is it. I've sewn it and I've turned it over. The material is a stretchy material, so with that 7.5 inches, I will even still cut out of it. Yes. So the next thing I will do now is to fix the band to the turban body. This process, I'm actually repeating this process for the sake of those that are beginners. Yes, if not, I know a lot of you can do this, but I'm repeating it for the sake of those that are beginners, and most especially because of the belt for the braided part that I will be adding. So for the purpose of clarity, I'm going to show you how to fix the belt so that you don't finish sewing it before you lose it back and find out that you've made any mistake. So I advise that as beginners, work with pin before you sew. It's very necessary, so that with pin you would have seen that yes, what you want is what you are doing. So if it is not what you want, then you can easily remove your pin and repeat your process. Rather than sewing before you repeat your process, your material will be rough. And secondly, it's not every material that you can lose. So now I'm going to fix the belt. Now, the belt should be at the middle. So you must find the midpoint of your material. It's very important that you know the midpoint. So I have known the midpoint, and I'm just going to remove the pin from that particular part, and then I'll fix the belt to it. In fixing this belt, you should note that there is a part of this belt that is completely smooth, and that is the part that you would want to use. So anything contrary to that is not going to work. So you must ensure that while you are using your pin, you fix this belt to the turban and the band together, and then check the position of the belt if that is what you want before you use your machine. Is very important. So right now I've been able to determine my position and I've sewn it. I've used my machine and I've sewn both the turban band and the belt together. So the next thing that I have attached it together with pin, and I have determined the position of the belt, and I'm okay with where it is facing now. So the next thing is that I'm going to fold that part inward and then sew it when I'm done fixing the band and the belt together. So I'll quickly do that with my machine, then I'll come back to show you the finishing. Because it's a stretchy material, I'm being careful while sewing. So you need to be careful while sewing it because it's a stretchy material. Do not drag it. Just support it and let it go smoothly on its own. So this is how it will look after using your machine to sew it. You see how neat it is and how smooth it is looking. So you see the part that is facing down and the part that is facing up as well. So I'm going to use a pin to first of all fold this the belt in, and then make sure that the size is okay for the belt that I'm going to as a belt, that the size is okay as a belt for the braided parts. Then I'm going to use my machine to do the finishing after pinning it down. So you just fold it inward. Don't sew it from the outside part, it will not be neat. So you fold it inward and then pin it. Just use a pin to hold it down, and then just carefully pass it through the machine and then sew it. It's better. Don't put your belt before you sew it outwardly. It will not be okay. Sew it inwardly. Make sure that every work you are doing is neat. That's the purpose. Make sure that the work you are doing is neat. So this is just with a pin, and I know that the size is okay because the material is a stretchy material. If I put my braided part in it, it will be able to hold it. You see it, I'm using pin to hold it, after which I will use my machine to sew it. It's very important. So I am done sewing it right now. I'm done sewing it, and you can see how it's looking. No part of the sewing is showing outside, it is just inward. So as much as possible, I encourage you to make your work to make it neat, make your sewing neat, make your process neat. Is very important. That's the only way what you are producing will have worth. That's the only way you can make good money from what you are producing. So right now I'm taking the actual head size now, which is 22. I'm not going to work with 22. I'm working with 21. So that's the reason I'm going to, after folding, I just took 10 and a half. 10 and a half will give me 21 by the time I open it up. So I'm working with 21. So I'm just going to sew the turban completely first before I talk about the braided part. I'm going to sew it completely before I talk about the braided part. So I'm done sewing the turban. I'm just trimming it out now. I'm done sewing it. So I'm just trimming the turban out. Of course, we know how to curve the turban while sewing. So I didn't put that to avoid the video is already long, so I don't want to make it longer. So I just shorten that part. So this is how the turban will be looking. Remember the size I use is 21. It's because it's a stretchy fabric. 21 is very okay. Even 20 is okay. 20 is okay. 21 is okay. But don't do 22. It might be too free. So coming back to the braided part of the turban now, I'm just going to join these materials together. Join it together, and then the three, I'm just going to close each part of the three from the back side, and then later I'll turn it over. So after doing that now, I simply fix in something that will make it to have weight. I cannot mat only the material. So yeah, this is what I have inside: a foam. I have a foam inside. This is what will give it the weight that I need. This is what will give it the shape that I need. So the size of your foam should be determined by you. The size of your foam should be determined by you. I know the next thing they'll start, what's the size of the foam? First of all, the length is the same length with the material, which is 44. But the size, as in how wide it is your choice. And this foam is a 1 inch foam. So I think there should also be half-inch foam. So whichever one you want to work with is okay, but just make sure you have something inside that will give you that weight that you need. So the next thing I did was that I fixed the three together. I used my machine to sew the three together, which will enable me to mat it together. If you don't have machine to fix the three together, that is not going to be a problem. Just simply get somebody that can help you hold the three together tight, or use your needle and thread and fix it together, and then you just go ahead and mat it. So after matting it to the end, the next thing I'll do is just secure the end to make sure that it's not going to loose. You can secure it by tying it, or just by using your needle and thread again to fix it together. But I'm not using needle and thread to fix it together because I want to be able to lose it easily by the time I'm done taking the actual size that I need. I will need to cut off the excess part, so I don't really want to sew it together for now. So I'm just tying it together so that I can easily lose. So you can see after matting, I'm not getting 44. I'm even getting less than 30 after matting it. Yes, that is how it is. After matting it, it will be shorter. So I'm just going to fix it to the belt now. I'm going to fix it through the belt to the turban. That's the essence of the belt, to be able to hold the braided part to the turban. That's one very, apart from the fact that the belt will help to beautify the turban, the purpose is to hold the braided part to the turban. And that's what you can see me doing right now, fixing the braided part into the belt, and also holding it to the turban. For this, the method I'm using, I'm not going to be using needle and thread to attach this braided part to the turban. I'm just going to take the size I want and then fix it together. So I'm just going to take the actual size that I need, and then I'll fix the two parts together with needle and thread, and then I'll just use hot glue to do my finishing. So just watch the process as I'm through. I'm not going to stick it, though you can use your needle and thread to take particular portion of the turban and then stick it to the of the, I mean, to take particular. So I'm just going to, you can see the part I'm taking there. I'm just going to cut off the excess part from that place now, and then just use something to hold it together. So this is how it will look when I'm done. It's just going to be something that can, you understand, flip up from this turban like this. When you wear the turban, is the client that will just adjust it to the position that she wants. So I'm done sticking it together with thread, needle and thread, and I've held it very tight together, sewing it through inward, outward, inward, outward. Then I just tie it with the thread, and then I'm just going to cut this part out. I'll cut the part out. Then I will use another belt to do a finishing. That belt will just cover every part that needed to be covered. While cutting it, you just have to be careful so that you don't cut the material. You don't create a hole in the material. So you just have to be careful, and you can see how careful I was while cutting. So I'm done cutting it now. I'm done cutting out the part that I think I don't need, or let me say the excess part. So right now I'm just going to sew another belt. I'm going to make a belt. I will sew it, turn it over to make sure that it is neat, and then I'll use it to wrap the rough parts. I'm just going to use it to wrap the rough parts so that that part can be neat enough. You know, every part that you work on that is rough, you are supposed to use something to do a good finishing, either by using patches or anything that is beautiful that will not leave any trace of roughness in your job. Is very important. So right now I'm done making my belt. As you can see, I'm just going to use my hot glue to fix this part. Now I'm just going to use the hot glue to fix this part. I will be applying the hot glue and wrapping it very tight. If you have a good glue, it works. It will never pull out. It works. So I'm just going to wrap and then make sure that every part that I need to cover is completely covered. So as it is now, I have covered every part that I need to cover, and it is neat enough for me. Very neat. So I'm done with this video. I do hope you enjoyed the tutorial. If you do, just give it a thumbs up. If you are yet to subscribe to my channel, what are you waiting for? Please do that. And I'll be very happy. It's a way of encouraging me. Thank you.